Welcome to another episode. Gas Network presents Sports for the Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Malo,
Bro Flying.
T-Boogie, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
what it do? You know what it is. You know what time it is. Running late as always, but that's becoming our thing nowadays, man. It's the gang. You are now tuned in to Gas presents Sports for the Culture. I am tonight's host, your boy Young Rome 22. We're down one man right now. I think G is going and getting that money that he owes me and Bryce, but he might join us a little later once it's time to pay up. But I'm gonna let the fellas introduce themselves, and then we're gonna get into this show because we got a lot to get into to this weekend. Some NFL action and a little bit of NBA talk as well. So I'm gonna start with the top left.
Hey, man, I told G like this, man. Straight like Ben Simmons. I said, look, man, we starting this shit with or without you. All right? Feel me? I don't care if you never play another game again. People talking crazy today. I'm glad to see everybody's healthy, happy, and on their diva shit. So let's get it, man. This hypothetical situation, but Ben Simmons got nothing for you. Next.
All right, man. Top right, introduce yourself.
At Bryce, XXV, Double I, a.k.a. Mr. Big Leaguer. Hey, I'm feeling like J.G. Wentworth. I want my cash now, Gerardo. Show your face, Gerardo. I need my cash right now, sir. Yeah, y'all. I got a new slogan, man. It was run the tape. My new slogan is Mr. Big Leaguer is always vindicated, baby. Get used to it. Y'all find out. Stay tuned. Y'all find out what I'm talking about.
Always vindicated. Hey, speaking of vindication, man, I think this first topic, the player we're going to talk about, he's probably feeling a little vindicated himself after finally getting the monkey off his back and beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. They finally got that big victory in thrilling fashion on Sunday night. I wish T was here because, you know, that's his favorite quarterback in the world, Lamar Jackson, but he's got the night off tonight. So, fellas, what are your thoughts on Lamar and the Ravens getting that dub over the Chiefs?
It was a great performance. Talk about the first half. I think we can all agree that Lamar Jackson didn't have a great first half. He made some mistakes, and he remembered those mistakes, but he had that next play mentality. He kept it pushing, and he pushed forward. Second half, took advantage of the right plays and got the monkey off his back, as he said. So it was a big win for them. I think people were already penciling them in. Guys like T were already penciling them in, 0-2. Oh, what they going to do now? Are the Ravens done? How are the Ravens done week one? Okay. Yeah. So that's all nonsense talk. So, we see what it was. I'm happy for Lamar. I think he played well. He's going to overcome a lot. I think this, it's a character win for Lamar. Tack it to the resume. Certified. Signature performance.
Bryce, what were your thoughts on the Chiefs Ravens game?
Hey, man, Mr. Big Leaguer Vindication Part 1. Last week I told y'all, man, the Ravens will be back in the playoffs the same way they always are. I told y'all, Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback. You see, people like T, some people, they want Lamar Jackson to fit into their definition of what an elite quarterback is. They want him to fit into their little box. What ESPN tells you is great. And hold on, real quick. Let me address ESPN and all the talking heads. They've been coming at the boy Lamar Jackson real strong. Chris Collinsworth was talking real crazy on that broadcast. All up until my man did the jump pass over the entire O-line and D-line, right into Marquise Brown's hands for the touchdown. Look, Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback. And the beautiful thing about playing quarterback is there's so many different ways to play it. It kind of reminds me of like what basketball used to be. You know how you could have a fat kid playing basketball? He might have some handles and might have a shot. He can still get it done on the court. The quarterback position is kind of the same way. You don't have to just fit into a box. You don't just got to be a guy that gets the ball out in 3 seconds every time he drops back. A guy that is just 67, 70% passing completion to be an elite quarterback. Is he an elite passer? We can argue that. Maybe, maybe not. I think he's good enough in the pocket to be considered an elite passer as well. But when we're talking about elite quarterback, there's no question Lamar Jackson is that. He proved it once again. One thing he'll always be able to do is beat you with his feet. You can't take that away from him. Over 100 yards on the ground. You come back from throwing a pick six on the first possession of the game. Everybody on Twitter already writing you off. Or you should have saw the jokes on Twitter after that first pick. You would have thought Lamar Jackson was a scrub. And what he do, man? Put the team on his back. You know what I love the most? That last play when they took the camera right to John Harbaugh. He looked at Lamar and said, "Lamar, you want to go for this?" Lamar looked back at him and said, "Hell yeah, let's get this." And what was it? First down, game over. You give that ball back to Pat Mahomes, Chiefs probably win that game. But Lamar Jackson has the ability to get 1 to 2 yards any given moment. The man is unbelievable. Lamar Jackson's an elite quarterback, top 5 in the NFL. If anybody tells you otherwise, they're hating. Mr. Big Leaguer Vindicated Part 1. Tune in for Part 2.
Facts. Hey, I gotta agree with everything you just said on Lamar, man. Like, if you look at it last week, the teams that scored the most points in the NFL had the best 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion. Tom Brady, the Buccaneers, scored 40-some points, and the second team with the most points last week were the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson. That's elite quarterback play. Week in and week out, Lamar Jackson gives you a chance to win every game, regardless of opponent. So to me, that's also elite quarterback play. Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get too much argument here about if Lamar is elite or not. I think the real question is, or the next question should be, what does this loss mean for the Chiefs? Is there trouble for Kansas City, or are they looking like they might not be the team that we thought they were? Or is this just a week 2 loss that they'll easily bounce back from? Scruff, I'm gonna start with you.
There's nothing. It's nothing to be worried about. They almost won the game, so nothing to be worried about. Nothing to see here. Chiefs are great. You don't got to worry about that. They probably lose maybe 2-3 games max. So they'll be where they need to be. I wouldn't think it's anything to be worried about. I think it was just a situation where they got outplayed. By a hungrier team. It's gonna happen. But hey, you telling me that if they rematched again, you wouldn't take the Chiefs? Crazy. It's a good chance you take the Chiefs. You feel like a little bit more confident maybe the Ravens can win it again. But hey, what are they? I don't know. Last time I checked, like I don't think that Lamar Jackson was ever beaten Patrick Mahomes. So I guess what does that make him, like 1 for 4? No disrespect. I'm not trying to make it like a thing like that. I'm just saying, like, I'll take Patrick Mahomes any day. Nothing to worry about for them. But I'll give credit. It's Lamar Jackson. It's his moment, I guess you could say. But I like how he reacted as well. His post game, he said that, basically, look, man, it's just one game. We're going, I'm glad I got the monkey off my back, whatever. But he's like, hey, look, we're trying to win playoff games over here. So let's revisit this conversation in the playoffs. But I think it's a good start. Good start for Lamar. I'm happy for the guy. But yeah, it's gonna be a long season, man. I think Lamar Jackson had a great game, but I think there's other quarterbacks worth talking about this weekend. I'd say we talking about this weekend. We talking about quarterbacks. I think I'm gonna put the name out there. I think Kyler Murray had the best weekend out of any quarterback in the NFL this weekend. What do y'all think, man? I thought he a pretty impressive game against the Seahawks, man. I was actually probably the most entertaining game of the weekend, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Kyler Murray? Pretty hot start. They're definitely making some noise, man. Ron, what you think?
Look, K1 has been over the top impressive in the first 2 games. I think he's got thrown 4 touchdowns and ran for at least 1 in each game, if I'm not mistaken. It's incredible. It's a sight to see that offense is moving. It reminds me a lot of last season, right before he fizzled out around week 8, week 9-ish. We got an extra game this season. So I love what I'm seeing from Kyler Murray. The only thing I would say is I just need to be prolonged. I need longevity from Kyler. I don't need half a season at the MVP pace. I need an entire season at the MVP pace. So I mean, I think Kyler he can do it. I said it coming into the season, they're going to need to do it, or Cliff Kingsbury is going to wind up on the hot seat. So hopefully the Cardinals can stay hot, but time will tell.
Yeah, nah, no doubt. I think that's the key right there. Is time will tell because Kyler Murray most definitely started off like this last year, and people were putting him in the MVP talks this time last season, which is why you always have to temper yourself early in the season when you start making these predictions, you start making these MVP calls, because a lot can change. It's a long season, it's a marathon. If it was just a sprint, Kyler Murray would already be MVP. Still a lot of time to go. We'll see if he can keep it up. One thing I will say is I believe that Kyler Murray's weapons at this point are stronger than they've ever been. AJ Green looking like the old AJ. AJ took that
Yeah, he
little
looked
pop
good.
pass, shook one man, took it to the crib. That was impressive to see. I really like what Chase Edmonds is doing too out of the backfield. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Christian Kirk was a dog coming out of Texas A&M, looking like he's finally putting it together. And my guy, I told y'all around draft time, my guy, Rondale Moore, he was my favorite receiver coming out of this draft. Last year, I told y'all my favorite receiver was Brandon Ayuk. That seemed to work out for the San Francisco 49ers. This year, I told y'all my favorite wide receiver was Rondale Moore out of Purdue. And that is seeming to work out for the Arizona Cardinals. My hope is that he stays healthy because he had a few problems in college with health. Rondale Moore is like a lightning bug. He can do it all, man. He's impossible to keep up with. The man is quickness is off the charts. So him and Kyler Murray is a deadly combination. And I haven't even mentioned DeAndre Hopkins yet. So shout out to the weapons that they've surrounded Kyler Murray with. As long as that defense can keep performing, I think Kyler Murray will be in a good spot by year's end. But we all will probably agree that NFC West is the toughest division in football right now. And I mean, you've already got a 2-0 team in the 49ers. I think they're legit. I'm not saying that I don't know if the 49 I don't know how legit the 49ers are yet, but I think they're legit. And you still got the Rams. I mean, it's a tough division. It's a tough division. I mean, the Seahawks, we know they're not going to lay over. So Kyler Murray's got a lot of tough games in front of him. But if he can continue this pace, he'll definitely win the MVP. But he couldn't continue this pace last year. But like I said, his weapons are definitely better this go around.
So let's talk about the 49ers. The 49ers are 2-0. I mean, I don't got a list of all the 2-0 teams in front of me, but I got to say that the 49ers got to be the most unimpressive 2-0 I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I've seen the 49ers in 2 games. Yes, they're both wins, but they don't look good, bro. They're not a good football team, man. Like, they're not a good football team, bro. Like, they're not, bro. They're not. They barely –
Sounds a lot like a hurt
the
Eagles fan right now.
The Lions put like 30 plus points on them, man, and the Eagles really beat themselves, bro. Because like there was some crucial plays in that game, bro. Like that Jalen Reagor touchdown should have been a touchdown, but he stepped out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? So they called that back, and then there was the other play that got called back. So,
look, Scruff. You can say whatever you want to say.
He stepped out of bounds, but it should have been a touchdown.
You can say what you want to say about that game.
It was a blown play.
Once y'all didn't score on that drive where Quez Watkins had like 80, 90-yard catch, bro, it was over. I knew it was over then. As soon as they couldn't get it in, and Sirianni, is that how you say his name, goes for it on 4th down, it was all she wrote, bro. Like, they emptied the tank on that one. They emptied the clip on that. Like, they have nothing left, and it was just all downhill, man. It was just all downhill for the Eagles after that.
To add to that, man, they held the Eagles to 3 points until 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Like a professional NFL football team had 3 points for 3 quarters. Like, that's a bend but don't break defense, if you ask me. Fred Warner's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Jimmy G doesn't have to do a lot. All he's really got to do is get the ball out to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. Their run game is always going to work. Like, I don't care if Elijah Mitchell gets hurt. They had so many players get hurt. As a matter of fact, they threw in one running back, Trey Sermon, came in and fumbled. I think they ended up calling that back because some helmet-to-helmet contact. But I don't know, man. Like the Eagles,
Nah,
not an
nah.
impressive
I'm
team.
not. I'm
The
not. This is,
49ers find a
bro,
way
bro,
to
bro.
get
You
the
don't.
win. I'm not gonna say the 49ers are super impressive so far, but I think they're legit because they've done this before. They've already
No,
had
no,
a
no, no,
winning
no.
formula. You know, they already had a winning formula. They can run the football. They're gonna play great defense. Nick Bosa looks like he's back to form. The D line is formidable once again. And I mean, it's hard to deny a team when they got that D line humming like that. I mean,
Man, they're not that good, bro. The truth is,
All right,
bro, like
Scruff.
bro, no. It's not an Eagles thing. The conversation was I wasn't even trying to talk about the Eagles. I'm just saying the 49ers aren't that good, man. That's all I'm saying.
but this is the
All
same
right, look, I
49ers
got a
they've
question for
always
you
been.
then.
They
I
went
got
to
a
the Super Bowl
non-Eagles
playing
question for you.
the same way.
Which 2-0 team are you more impressed with? The 40 or least impressed with? The 49ers or the Denver Broncos? Like which team is more impressive at 2-0 right now?
The Denver Broncos.
And what's
Between the
your
two,
reasoning behind that?
because they're not supposed to be good. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers were supposed to be good, and they won 2 games, but they didn't look that good in those
The
games. Now
49
the
you had the
Broncos,
49ers last in their division. When were they supposed to look good?
I had them last, but you didn't have them last. Everybody else didn't have them last. So that's expectations versus reality. My expectations were low for them, but reality is most people think that they're pretty good. But the reality is they're not that good,
I mean,
and
let's be
that's
honest.
what I've seen. That's what the tape has shown me. They played decent again. They against two subpar teams by most people's expectations. Correct?
I would agree
I
with
would
that
agree, but
assessment.
let's be
That's
honest.
all
Let's
I'm
be honest.
saying.
We got another 2-0 team and the Panthers who barely beat the New York Jets week 1. I mean, Jameis Winston had 20 turnovers, so like Jameis back to being Jameis. And then the Panthers beat the Jets week 1. And you're
It,
gonna tell me you're impressed by the Panthers? I
I
mean, come
mean,
on, man. Like,
yeah, I'm a little bit impressed, but at the same time, like the Panthers had lower expectations. So for me to say I'm impressed means that they exceeded my expectations. But since the expectations for the 49ers were so high, I could not possibly say that they exceeded my expectations. Not with 2 lackluster wins against the Eagles, who y'all said were some shit, right? And then the Lions, who I admittedly said were the worst team in the NFL.
yeah, I don't know, man.
So the
I don't think I
49ers
don't
are
think the Lions are gonna be the worst team in the NFL, but I do think that the 49ers is one of those teams that they've got a winning formula, man. Kyle Shanahan, he knows how to win football games. All he's gonna do is run the rock, play some tough defense. They're gonna be up there in the NFC West. That's such a tough division. I don't think they'll last. I don't think they'll last like the whole year in that division, but they're gonna beat a lot of teams, bro.
That's the thing with football, especially at the NFL level. You don't have to win pretty. The 49ers can look bad in some of these games and still come out with the W. And that might be how their season goes. They might get some of these quote unquote ugly wins. But I got to agree with Bryce, man. Holding an NFL team down to 3 point. I forgot the Eagles even scored again because I had already changed the channel at that point. But holding an NFL team down to 3 points for that long, that means something. Defense wins championships. So I think the 49ers are definitely going to make some more noise. But since we brought up the Panthers, man, and we're talking
defense
about
wins
impressive.
championships. So defense, so the 49ers defense, they're dressed in black and white. Is that defense? Or is that
now we're blaming
penalty?
the ref. We're blaming the refs on the
Mistakes.
loss now.
That's not. It's mistakes. If you make a mistake,
Oh
there's
God,
flags,
man.
the penalty. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens, bro. I'm just saying, like that wasn't the 49ers defense. That was the
The
Eagles'
Eagles had a
mistakes.
90-yard bomb and they couldn't capitalize because the 49ers defense didn't allow a touchdown in the red zone for three
Okay,
straight
but it was
quarters.
the offensive
In three
coordinator that
in
decided to
10
go
minutes.
for it. It was the
3
offensive
quarters in
coordinator
8
that tried to.
minutes.
The offensive coordinator went for it on 4th down,
That's
right?
the
If he
same
would have just
offensive
kicked the
coordinator that
field goal,
called that 90-yard bomb, though. So you gotta take that with good with the bad, buddy. They went 3 quarters in 8 minutes down. Like, come on, bro. The defense prevented that. Give the defense some credit, man. Like, I feel you. You a little hurt. You a little hurt because y'all got beat.
the other touchdown that came back, they had nothing to do with the defense. That's all I know.
I remember seeing a lot of penalties on them 49ers too, bro. Philly's. You want to talk about worst teams in the division? Philly might be the worst in the NFC East. The Giants,
Whatever, out of here,
the
bro.
Giants are definitely giving them a run for their money.
Bruh, touch
Real
Dallas,
quick, Bryce.
bro.
I got a quick little
What he
question
called
for
Jalen
you.
Hurts? What he called Jalen Hurts? Slant boy. Slant boy not getting it done, man. I'm sorry.
He's
He
really
more
not.
than he optioned the hell out
He
of
did.
Bosa
He
on
did.
several plays, and he picked up several crucial third downs with his legs, with his arms.
That
Say
was
what you
on
want.
that last
Hey,
drive.
And that
hey, say what you
led to
want. Say what
11
you want.
points.
Say what you want, bro. We lost the game. We didn't convert some opportunities, but I'm riding with my guy. We swung, and we were within striking distance of winning a game against the 49ers, who y'all think are a great team.
No one said the 49ers are a great team, but they have a great defense. They just don't have a great offense, man. But that defense, they got to win it formula.
Bryce 10 minutes ago. Nobody really did. It's hard to beat when a defensive line's humming like that. Ain't that what you said?
It's hard to beat, bro. When you got Nick Bosa going crazy,
it ain't that hard to beat,
They
man.
held
Because
y'all
we
points,
we almost beat them, man.
y'all didn't almost beat them,
and
bro.
we're not
At
a good
no point
team.
did anyone feel like y'all about to win that game. Maybe in the first quarter, it was like, oh, the Eagles look all right.
Nah,
but
there was
by
no
the
point.
third, fourth quarter, when y'all still had 3 points, nobody thought
Right.
y'all was winning that game.
Majority of the first half, people thought we were winning the game. Rome thought it.
Nah. I'm telling you, after that drive, bro. Jalen Hurts had 190 yards and he threw like a 95-yard pass, bro. Like,
50%
put Gardner Minshew in, man. Give me Minshew,
remember
bro.
when I said he wasn't accurate and Scrump was like, came on the next episode, like, how about Jalen Hurts being accurate? Mr. Big Leaguer Vindicated Part 2, man. Jalen Hurts is not accurate, bro. Stop playing with these people, man.
Hey, you know who was looking pretty accurate though, Bryce? On Thursday night, my guy Taylor
Daniel
Heineke,
Jones.
Heineke.
See, you got me all fucked up now, Scrub.
Daniel Jones was accurate. Taylor Heineke ain't shit.
Look, I'll say this about that game. Daniel Jones, like he always does, looked great against Washington. I still think he's not the greatest quarterback. I think he's the best. I think
Daniel Jones looked like Peyton Manning out there, and Taylor Heineke looked like Kirk Cousins, Part 2.
What do you mean? Taylor Heineke went for 336.
I mean, whatever, bro.
Jalen Hurts dreams of having that game Taylor Heineke had.
I mean, the story of the game to me was just that, y'all defense is all right. And, Saquon Barkley is a shell of his former self. That was my biggest takeaway from Thursday night.
Hey, my biggest takeaway is I need G to hop on and have my hundo P in my hand. I don't know what G hiding, bro. I'm convinced that boy G is hiding. Like,
that does make sense. He's talking about he got routes at 10 o'clock.
All of a sudden he works late on Tuesdays. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Hey,
okay.
what are you talking? What kind of stuff is that?
Yeah, he knew what time it was, man. He knew what time it was. But hey, I think there's one more NFL conversation we want to get into before we move on. And I know this is a hot one. We were talking about it on the pre-show. It's best running back in the league right now, fellas. I think we could go a couple different ways, but it's two top dogs right now. One in King Henry and the other in CMC himself. So this is going to be kind of a little debate segment almost. I'm going to try to narrate this one a little bit. As we all know, my guy Bryce is big on Derrick Henry. The followers of the show, Bryce has been pounding the table for Henry for quite some time. My guy Scruff, on the other hand, he likes value in the running back position. He likes guys that can run and catch. CMC can literally do it all. So, I mean, we might throw this up on a poll later on, see what the fans are thinking. But let's start this debate, man. Bryce, make the case. King Henry, best running back in the league.
Mr. Big Leaguer Vindicated, Part 3. Tune in, people. Last week, y'all heard him last week, right? Were y'all watching last week when they got on and just threw dirt on the name of King Henry? They just threw dirt on his name. It was real ugly. And it wasn't too much I could say. You know why? Because King Henry was coming off 17 attempts, 58 yards rushing. I had to listen to these guys say, oh, the problem with Derrick Henry is when you're down, you can't give him the ball. What can you do when you're down with Derrick Henry? Oh, I had to listen to that. And what did I tell y'all then? So that's not a Derrick Henry problem. That's a Tennessee Titans problem. I tried to let y'all know. I tried. They didn't want to listen. If you're down and Derrick Henry doesn't have over 20 attempts, over 20 rushing attempts, that's a coaching problem. Derrick Henry should have 20 rushing. He should wake up with 20 attempts. He should have 20 attempts in his sleep, right? What happened to this game? What happens this game? The Titans, they get down. They get down 2 touchdowns. But what do they do this time? Instead of like the week before, they keep giving the ball to Derrick Henry. They were down. The man only had about 65 yards rushing, but they kept giving him the ball. And what did he end with? A whopping 180 yards on the ground. And just for the guys that said he couldn't catch, he added 6 receptions for 55 yards. Sounds like the guy can kind of do it all if you just give him his opportunities. If you just give him his touches. 35 attempts, 182 yards. That's 5.2 yards per carry. Meanwhile, y'all's guy, Christian McCaffrey, had a measly 3 yards per attempt on Sunday. 3 yards per attempt. Oh, now granted, the Panthers got the win. That's cool. I'm proud of them for that. But if you guys want to talk best running back, the best running back in the league, it's no doubt Derrick Henry. He's the best running back in the league. All you have to do is give him the ball, and you will get a W. But the Titans, they want to get cute. They want to get real cute with their offensive scheme and put it on the arm of Ryan Tannehill. That's a mistake. You watch the first half of that Titans game, you know that's a mistake because Ryan Tannehill is not one of those elite quarterbacks as much as he may fool some. But Derrick Henry is the elite of the elite when it comes to the running back position. Number 1 running back in the league. I think this is 3 years running if you ask me. I think Christian McCaffrey, he might be second. I still think Dalvin Cook's in that conversation, but Christian McCaffrey might be the second best running back in the league. I'd really have to evaluate that a little closer, but to me, it's not. It's a no-brainer. Derrick Henry is the top dog when we're talking about the running back position.
Ooh, okay. So Bryce is saying Derrick Henry is 1, and it ain't no 1A, 1B situation.
Not at all.
He said it might be a 2A, 2B situation. He says CMC is not even undisputed number 2. So Scruff, man, talk to your boy, man. Tell him where CMC belongs.
I'll tell you this, man. Would you take a truck on a cross-country trip? Would you take a truck to park and parallel park in the city? So why would you pick Derrick Henry as the best running back in the league when he's not an all-terrain back, bro? That's the problem with Derrick Henry. He is a legitimate, the most punishing back in the league. No question about it. But he is not an all-purpose back. And that is why I still give the edge to Christian McCaffrey as the best running back in the league. Now, first game, we got what we have a mixed bag with the Tennessee Titans. They're 1-1. In the first game, they got behind early. They couldn't keep up. And then they, like you said, they got cute, you say. It's the NFL. It's a passing league, bro. They did what they had to do when you're behind. You can't pound the rock all game, because sometimes it just ain't there. So for whatever, that's what it is. So first game, he was ineffective. Second game, he was very effective, extremely effective. And he was even effective in the running game. I'll give him that. But, Christian McCaffrey was equally as effective, if not more effective. Depends on how you look at it, though. The Panthers are 2-0. The Titans are 1-1. I'm not basing it also off the record, but I'll also say this. Christian McCaffrey had really solid games, both games. He had 100 yards in either game. He had like 98 in one and then 72 in the other, but really solid. You know what I'm saying? And he also had 6 receptions, 65 yards, 9 receptions, 89 yards. He had more receiving yards than Julio Jones had in those 2 games. So the fact is that he's a great running back and he's also an excellent receiver. That makes him a dual threat. That makes him an undefined value. If you're talking about what he can do for you from that perspective, you have to consider what he can do from you from multiple perspectives. And let's not even forget, he was elite as a special teamer. But they don't even use him as that anymore. But I promise you, if you used him as a special teamer, he would be elite. Some people just have a gift. He has a gift. I'm not saying Derrick Henry's not great, but I'm saying that he's great. But he's not as useful as Christian McCaffrey. And that's just the bottom line, bro.
I feel like Scrub's having a different conversation than who's the best. He's having a conversation of who's the most versatile. If you want to have the most versatile conversation,
I value versatility.
Cool
I value versatility. It's the NFL, bro.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the very first conversation we had tonight when I told y'all that Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback. He's an elite quarterback, right? Because the sum of his parts makes him elite, right? the sum of Derrick Henry's parts makes him better than the sum of Christian McCaffrey's parts. If you use Derrick Henry, you are guaranteed a victory, bro.
No.
Have you seen what the Panthers' records have been over the past couple seasons? Christian McCaffrey, this is not the highest level he's played at. And the Panthers have been trash when they had a horrible record with Christian McCaffrey at one of his best seasons, if I remember correctly.
The successfulness of the team is,
but you're throwing 2-0 at me.
No, but I mean, yeah, because we talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going level for level with you. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes down to running backs, bro, having a good running back doesn't mean that your team's good.
Okay, so then let's not give Christian McCaffrey the credit for being 2-0 then. Cool. I'm fine with that. So the thing is, though, when you give Derrick Henry the ball, when you give Derrick Henry over 20
not a regular
carries,
running back.
You give Derrick Henry over 20 carries, you're just about guaranteed to win. I mean, the only time the Titans really get L's is when you look at the care. Next time the Titans lose,
that's a skewed statistic, sir. It's a skewed statistic.
Next time the Titans lose, look at Derrick Henry's attempts. If they're under 20, it's a guaranteed L.
Yeah, you know why, genius? It's because that when they're down, they don't have time to run the ball. So he's not going to get 20. He's not going to get 20.
Scores again. They were down 2 scores again last game. They stuck with the run, and they won the game. They came back and won the game for sticking with the run.
They weren't down enough, obviously.
No, they were down the same amount the week before. I'm trying to get you to see that all this stuff is just illusions in your mind because you think it's such a passing league.
I also think the matchup matters too, though. I think the matchup matters too. We had the team that the first week was the Cardinals, which is a very it's a very pass aggressive offense. But we're talking about the Seahawks, though, right? The Seahawks are a very similar play style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not an air raid offense. Yeah, they air it out, but like, you know, I think they're more suited to play a game like that. I don't know.
Nah, man.
Look, I hear you both, and honestly, Bryce is making some excellent points for Derrick Henry. But I do want to throw this in here. You say, give Henry the ball 20 times, you're almost guaranteed to win. It took about 40 plus touches for them to pull out this 3-point win against the Seahawks. McCaffrey had about 20, 25 around that range, and his teams usually cruise to a victory when he gets about in that range. And I think it's because, like Scruff was alluding to, the versatility. The way you can put McCaffrey in different spots on the field, it affects the defense differently than what Henry gives you. I'm not even sure if Henry's out there every time on third down, really. But where McCaffrey, he didn't even got to line up in the backfield on third down. You could put him in the slot. You could even bump him outside because really he's a wide receiver playing running back. So I would lean towards McCaffrey, but as far as this debate's going, I'm kind of hearing what Bryce is saying. I'm kind of liking what I'm hearing.
If I'm correct, Christian McCaffrey had one winning. Right? Since what year has he been in the NFL? He's had one. Bro.
You're having a different.
Let's go ahead and take the records out.
I'm making a point.
You're having a different argument.
Just listen. I'm making a point to Rome's point. Right? When we're talking about what wins games, when Christian McCaffrey gets this many touches, he's getting this type of wins. They were 11-5 in 2017, 2016 6-10, 2018 7-9. 2019, 5-11 got Ron Rivera fired. 2020, last year, he was hurt most of the year, but 5-11 again. This is not a winning formula to just give Christian McCaffrey the football. But on the other hand, Derrick Henry's won with Marcus Mariota. They were making playoffs with Marcus Mariota, right? And Marcus Mariota, now he's a scrap heap quarterback. Then bring in Tannehill and look what happens. Now all of a sudden they look like an elite team. You had gas panelists picking them as their Super Bowl pick before the year. I don't think that's because of Tannehill. I'm pretty sure that's because of Derrick Henry, bro, and probably adding Julio. Bro,
hey, just so you know, I was the one that picked them, though.
And that's the irony of this all. But the bottom line is Derrick Henry, if you give him the rock 20 plus times, you're not. I'm gonna say you're guaranteed, but you got a good shot to get a W, man.
I hear you on that, and I don't really have too much argument against Derrick Henry, but I don't think 40 plus touches a game week 2 already with an extra game this season is a winning formula that the Titans can sustain. I like Derrick Henry. I like what he gives you in the postseason, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Look who we found.
Put that better myself, B.
What's up, guys?
Hey, there he is, man. We've been waiting on you, sir. There's only one question, man. I said at the beginning of the show, I'm feeling like JG Wentworth, G. I need my cash now, sir. Do you have my cash, sir? Is it
Hey, yo, watch him up, yo. It's only been 2 games. Only been 2 games. 2 games. And you guys only have one more game more than us.
That's right.
Only been 2 games. 2 games. This is terrible, man. We gave you guys the game. I can't believe we gave you guys the game. I can't believe we gave you guys the game.
The game.
Wait. Hold on, G. What do you mean you gave us the game?
Gave us.
I can't
Man,
believe
don't
we
act
gave
like
a guy the game.
don't act like that touchdown should have been that Slater drop, and then that last fucking foul that the defense gave us, because your kicker couldn't make a 30-yard kick. He
Hey,
needed an extra 5 yards to kick it.
I've heard a lot of people talking about that Slayton drop, and it was a bad drop, but that was not a perfect ball. That ball was a little
What?
in front of Slayton. It was,
Bro, that was a perfect shot.
It was not a perfect pass. It was not.
Man, you tell yourself you beat the delusional all you want. You know that was a perfect shot. And you saw how offensive line looked in the second half. That so-called defensive line you guys had, that top 5 defense, that shit looked mediocre to me.
Hey,
man, pipe down, bro. Y'all are in last place.
Make a good point though.
Last place.
That defense didn't look that good, bro. That defense didn't look that good.
Compared to my so-called worst offensive line in all of NFL, I was down bad, Papa. I was all down bad. I was on suicide watch.
Hey, but
I done donated all my money to Rome. I was broke.
And drove on y'all, bro. He threw a pick, got the ball back, and drove right back down the field on y'all like it was nothing, bro.
Heineke over Jones every time.
Bro, y'all the same guy that says Haskins over Jones. So I don't even care what y'all say about Jones. It don't matter. My boy look good.
Hey, honestly, Danny Dimes needs to be in the same situation Haskins is, backing somebody up. That's where he belongs.
Nah,
he don't need to be out there starting.
Football team 4-0 against us, 4-30 against everybody else, or something crazy like that. Or 3-1 against us now. But I'll give him credit, man. He always
it's 4-1 against you guys. 4-1.
Okay, yeah, 4-1, but he's 4-30 everywhere else. So he always gives him
It don't matter. But you guys, we got y'all numbered. But keep that same energy on when y'all come over here to Giant Stadium. That's all I want to say. That's all I gotta say. Keep that same energy when y'all gotta come up north.
We'll be there.
I need to come up here.
Have that same energy. I
might have to make $20 back, bro. God damn.
I might have to make a trip.
Hey,
y'all gonna have to make the trip.
I still like the Eagles' chances in the division based on that matchup between y'all two teams. That's all I know.
Eagles. You have my money too, Scrub, because y'all not winning over 7 games.
And all I know is Jalen Hurts has a lot more touchdowns than Cam Newton. That's all I know.
All right, you'll get 20. So we'll be even.
What's a lot more? 2? He's got 2.
Yes, 2.
What's a lot more than?
He could get
what's a lot more than 0
and throw more in a game. Like
a lot. All I need Cam is to get picked up by a random team with an injury, and I'm right back.
Yo, that's crazy.
Hey, Rome, what's a number smaller than 0?
Eagles.
Yeah. Hey, you just be happy that the Giants are holding down that last place for y'all right now. Because come season's end, I'm telling you, Philly's going to be there. Philly's going to be at the bottom of the NFC East. Washington's going to be at the top. And this could be a run the tape moment. At the end of the season, run this back. So when Philly's down there at the bottom, you can see this big old smile on my face.
Ayo. Somebody got to get the drug test on G. This guy's got to get drug tested.
For what? What the fuck I gotta get drug tested for? What the fuck?
You know how the NBA is, man. You know how the NBA is, man. You start seeing people with the workout pics, man. You gotta send out the random drug test, man. All I see is SpongeBob inflatable arms coming from the screen below me. I just need Gas HR to initiate a random drug test.
He hit them with hard after that Giants loss.
He was good. He was
Jim. Oh, damn it, Clayton.
That's why he talk about some. He on a route. He on a route at 10. He over here. I'm still working.
Hey, Rome, you making a good point right now, though. You got me really thinking about this, the NFC East and how it's going to end. I think watching the football team, it's all said and done. After week 1, I was a little worried, but it was all said and done. The only team that got me worried is the Cowboys, not going to lie.
Yeah, I seen that defense. That defense look good.
Yeah, they did.
That defense look good. I'm a cowgirl hater, but I got to give it up to that defense. That defense without Lawrence, it looked pretty good. Them some young studs over there on that defense's end.
Yeah,
They carried Dak. They carried Dak against the Chargers.
Yeah, T was talking in the guys group chat, talking about best pass rushers in the NFC East and this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna come on here and be a hater. I'll give the Cowboys defense credit where it's due. They did hold down the Chargers offense, something that my Washington football team couldn't do. But hey, man, it's a long season, and again, this could be another run the tape moment. Because when it's all said and done, the best defense in the NFC East is still the Washington football team, and it's gonna remain that way. And I'll give you guys another run the tape moment. Chase Young's gonna lead the NFC East in sacks. And I don't think any other NFC East player is really going to compete with him for that.
I'll give you a run the tape moment. Run this tape. Chase Young not even going to lead his own team in sacks.
I like that one. I'll run the tape on that one myself.
What you talk about? And the Redskins, the Washington football team defense did not look that good. And, the Cowboys looked all right. I ain't going to hold you. But
they didn't look good early last year either, and we finished top 5. So I ain't tripping. Defense
y'all holding y'all resting y'all laurels on that top 5 ranking. That don't.
Yo, for real. Like they had it last year, and they're running with the wave.
Start off hot. It happened as the season progressed. It happened. So I got faith.
At least Washington's got something to rest on.
We don't gotta rest on no fake ass rankings. Just get the dubs. Get them dubs ready.
Y'all resting on slant routes. We'll see how long that lasts.
Hey, how many wins y'all got? Okay,
hey, boy.
We 1-1. B. We 1-1. All right. So then I don't want to hear about nothing. All right.
Slant boy.
Wait, don't y'all got Dallas this week?
Nah, we got Buffalo.
We got Dallas.
We gonna beat Buffalo. We gonna beat Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Week 3 is coming
Buffalo.
up.
Y'all not beating Buffalo.
Y'all definitely not beating Buffalo.
They giving us 10. We laying 10.
Whoa, Bryce, you said we're gonna beat Buffalo? You said we winning now?
Run the tape on this. We're gonna
beat Heineke. Hey, I'll put it like this.
Easy to run the tape on this one, so that's easy.
Yo, for real. You running the tape on this one. Make sure you get your brown bags. I'll send you one. I'll send y'all some down south. I'll send y'all some brown bags.
You got plenty of those.
Hey, you feel me?
I'm telling you now, if Taylor Heineke beats Josh Allen, because some of y'all on this show picked Josh Allen as an MVP candidate early on. If Heineke beats Josh Allen in Buffalo, bro, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be intolerable. I'm gonna be intolerable. You have to mute me.
Send 2, G. Send 2.
I'm gonna send 2. Definitely send 2. Definitely about to send 2.
Y'all Washington fan. We said y'all setting us up for an easy one. This one, okay.
Yeah, I'm not picking Washington. I'm not picking Washington. I'm taking Buffalo to win that game. I'm just saying. In the event that Taylor Heineke pulls this out, Taylor Heineke pulls this out, you're not going to want to talk to me come next Tuesday. I'm just telling you now.
No, stand on your team. Stand on your team.
Say it with your chest. Don't say it at all.
Yeah, don't say that shit
all right,
at all.
Well, Scruff, y'all, next Monday night, talk to me about that. Cowboys,
What I said the Eagles was going to beat the 49ers, and we lost. And so we had every opportunity to win that game. So whatever. We rolling. I mean, Eagles, Cowboys, Monday night. Feel good about that. I feel real good about it.
That didn't sound like it was with your chest.
Who's at home?
I feel good about that. I feel good. That wasn't with your chest.
Who's at home? Dallas is at home?
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to let Dallas go from California come all the way to Philly.
I'll tell you what, man. I guarantee a dub. Eagles win. Eagles gonna win on the road in Dallas.
Honestly, bro, I hope y'all do win because Dallas is the biggest threat to my Washington football team. So if y'all win, I'm really not tripping, but I don't see that happening.
Biggest threat to your Washington football team is yourselves. Y'all not about to do nothing.
You're right.
Yep. Not about to do nothing.
That's a fact.
The biggest threat to y'all is these unrealistic expectations that you have and the
Yes.
lack of quarterback that y'all have. Y'all never had a quarterback on the season, and y'all had convinced yourselves that the other guy was the guy, and now y'all really gonna stand here in front of me and tell me that this other guy that was your backup is now the guy? Get the fuck out of here,
Rome, give him the
man.
stat, Rome.
Say it again.
Hey,
Say it again.
most
You wasn't not talking
completions,
about Heineke the whole preseason. They said
on,
Fitzpatrick is
man.
most
our Lord and
completions
Come
through
Savior.
three
on,
Fuck
games
out
man.
of
in
here.
NFL history. He's already going in the record book. Most completions in 3 games in NFL history. But keep hating. Like I said, hey, watch that game Sunday. If Taylor Heineke pulls it out, you're not gonna want to deal with me and Bryce come next Tuesday. I'm telling you now.
Not
I'm
at all.
telling you now.
Man, I don't even want to deal with you now. Y'all unrealistic.
All the cap. There's a lot of cap going on
Bro,
tonight.
y'all heard me last week.
It's the
Remember
cap
I
for
was telling
me.
y'all last week how Heineke went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, played the best in the playoffs against Tom Brady out of every other quarterback they faced. All right, just wait on it, man. Just wait
It's
on
the
it. Let's
cap
keep it
for me.
pushing, though. Let's keep it pushing, man. Let's get away from this NFL. We've been talking NFL for like 4 or 5 weeks nonstop. I love it. We all love it, but jumping into some NBA real quick, man. A resident gas topic right here, man. We seem like we talk about this guy way too often, but this guy is just he's a trending topic. I don't know how he's got so trending. Scruff hate it. Scruff know what's coming. Scruff's guy, Ben Simmons, will not report to Sixers camp no matter what. He said you can't pay me enough. Say I don't care what y'all give me. I'm not coming back to Philly. Y'all ran the boy out of town. All that trash talk. All the flip-flopping that the Philly fans do. 1 minute they love him, next minute they hate him. It's all over one missed layup opportunity. They hate the man. And now he said he's not coming to Sixers camp. Let's get some reactions on this. I think this is an interesting topic. And let's also see, I want to hear what you guys think Ben Simmons ends up going for on the trade market. Because at this point, I don't think he ends up playing in Philly ever again. So who else could I start with but the one and only Scruff Lion? Break it down, sir.
I mean, that's not really news. It's nothing that's unexpected. You know, based on the way the situation was playing out, we didn't really expect that Ben was going to just show up all of a sudden. You know, I mean, but he is under contract. You know, so he's going to be dealing with fines or whatever the case may be. I mean, situation is messed up, man. But you know, I mean, Bryce, you said it was just comes down to one layup. It doesn't come down to just one layup. This is just we've seen the signs, man. So I just want all of y'all at home to take whatever parallels y'all can from this, and you know, don't ignore the red flags, people. That's the biggest thing I'll say. You know, Ben Simmons disappeared from playoff series before this year, so biggest advice I give you is don't ignore the red flags, and you sell high. You sell high. The right time to trade Ben Simmons was last season. You know, because there were doubts about Ben Simmons. So the best time to trade with him was last season when he was in talks with James Harden. They blew an opportunity. Maybe the Sixers never get James Harden. Now we're looking at maybe best case scenario. Maybe they get John Wall. And I'm like, fuck. That's not good. That's ironic as hell because I was just on here talking last week about how John Wall's washed up. And I'm happy to be here talking about some go John Wall, like trying to like put on my happy face, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not happy with that. But this is what the reality is. No, it's just terrible now because now the leverage is out the window. All these teams are lowballing us, and now this guy say, I'm not going to show up ever again. Okay, so I mean, it's messed up, man. But ultimately, I mean, what does it come down to? Comes down to the organization. It's the organization's fault. You're right. It's Ben Simmons' fault too, but it's organization's fault first because players are going to be players, man. Divas are going to be divas. And if you enable a player to do this nonsense, they will do it, man. And this is Jimmy Butler spoke about it a few years ago. The organizational structure, they enable these guys to do whatever they want. And that's what Ben did, man. We allowed him to be a point forward. We built the whole team around him so he could be a mismatched player, and we enabled him. And now he showed his ass, and now he's got all the leverage, and we got nothing. So that's what happens when you enable your players. So 3 biggest takeaways is don't ignore red flags. You sell high, and last but not least, don't be an enabler. All right.
That sounds like relationship advice, low key.
It is. It's mismanaged though. But like business is relationships, man. It was all mismanaged, man. So at this point, it's a lose-lose. You just got to get rid of them because you can't bring them back. It's beyond repair. So it's just very mismanaged situation. There's several people to blame, but
yeah, and you know what
can you do but move forward?
On that list, Philadelphia fans should be on the list of people to blame if we keeping it a buck. Now I want to get into the next conversation, which is what do you all think Ben Simmons ends up going for on the open market? Because obviously his value has declined, as Scruff just alluded to. Rome, I mean, what would you give up? What do you think is a comparable package for Ben Simmons at this point? Like, do you think he fetches another all-star caliber player, another all-NBA caliber player, all-NBA defense caliber player, or is it going to be, a struggling package that the Sixers end up bringing in for?
I mean, it's one of the toughest things in all of professional sports to do a trade like this when you know the player is leaving the team. When you know he's not going to play for them, it's almost like, why would I give up too much for a player? And Scruff already kind of alluded to this. Why would anyone give up a lot now at this point, knowing that there's, no way that he's going to go back to that team? So, I mean, it's hard to say. There has been rumblings about John Wall, which personally I would love to see, just to see Scruff come on here and talk about John Wall being on the Sixers. So that's really what I'm rooting for deep down, because I think that would make for great entertaining episodes of Gas Sports for the Culture, all NBA season long, watching Scruff hype up John Wall, prop John Wall on his great pedestal that he's already torn him down from.
I can't put him on. I mean, maybe if he start playing like Kyle Lowry, then we'll be in good shape.
Philly fan. If the Sixers get John Wall, you gonna hear Scruff loving him. That's what Philly fans do, boy.
Hey, I'll tell you this before anything happens. I'm gonna make one last statement on John Wall. John Wall is in a do or die situation. If he don't ball out this season, he's done.
Disrespectful.
But I mean,
yeah, he's not wrong.
Hey, if they sign him, the next thing we're gonna hear is John Wall's gonna ball out in Philly. He's revitalizing that career.
I'll tell you this. I will take somebody that got something to prove over somebody that's just scary. So
I would like John Wall in Philly would be better than Ben. De'Aaron Fox. A straight-up trade for De'Aaron Fox.
That's obvious, but Sacramento said they laughed when we asked for De'Aaron Fox.
Wow, damn! I don't know what other trade you could get.
Or Tyrese Halliburton. They said they wouldn't give up either. It's crazy.
I mean, I can't be mad at them for that. Like, De'Aaron Fox is a dog, and he's proven he has the confidence. I think that the Sixers end up getting somebody more along the lines of just like Scruff kind of said, like they're gonna get a guy. They're gonna get a lot lower value for Ben Simmons. They better just hope they can get a pick package in there with it. That's their best hope at this point. Match the salaries and get a few picks along the way. Because end of the day, man, the guy is these damaged goods. I think Ben Simmons gonna go somewhere else and ball out. I'm gonna say that right now. We can run the tape on this. Ben Simmons gonna leave Philly, and I bet you he ends up finding a jump shot.
I throw three teams out there that he goes to.
All right, let's hear it.
I think the Rockets is a good chance. I think a good chance he ends up with the Rockets or the Timberwolves or I'll go with those two.
Rockets or Timberwolves. And that's the thing. If he goes to Timberwolves, I don't see them. Maybe y'all can get D'Angelo Russell. That's the other type of guy that maybe they'll give away for him. A guy that's another guy that was worth more at a certain time, you know what I mean, whose value has kind of declined, dropped off a little bit. But I do think if y'all go the D'Angelo Russell route, you're not going to get them picks in return. And if there's one thing I think, Scruff, we know about Daryl Morey, he values those picks. He's going to want to get some picks at least, in the least. So these will have an eye towards the future, man. But remember, we can run the tape on this, Scruff. Back in the day, when we first started this show, I told y'all, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid would never work. I told you that.
Man, you keep saying stuff. You making these affirmations, negative affirmations. Quit with that nonsense. Keep that away from me.
He said it's bad juju.
Light your sage tonight, man.
Yeah, you've been trying to speak things to existence, man. Screw you.
Man, all I'm saying is run the tape, bro.
Yo,
Man,
but all jokes aside, so you're not gonna bring Brett Brown for like Ben Simmons' behavior though? I'm surprised you didn't bring Brett Brown.
No, I mean I was going to. You want to mention it? He's partially deserves someone to blame too because he's the first one that enabled Ben Simmons. Got this man thinking he's a point guard. Just because you're a facilitator doesn't make you a point guard, my man. And the point guard position was the perfect position for him to hide. So he could hide behind being a facilitator because he was a gifted facilitator. But so that's not necessarily sometimes just hiding behind the thing that you're good at isn't necessarily the best way for you to grow.
I give you Rui Hachimura straight up.
Next topic, please, man.
Yo, the disrespect.
Keep it pushing, man.
Next topic, man.
Anybody?
My boy said plead the fifth. He pleading the fifth.
Hey, I'm gonna talk about somebody that can shoot, man. JJ Reddick, my guy, man. I think he's always gonna have a special place in my heart because I remember there was a lot of people when JJ came in the league. He's retiring, by the way. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So JJ is gonna retire, but yeah, he's got a special place in my heart, man. Because when JJ first came to the league, he was like probably one of the most prolific players in college sports. A lot of people said he was going to be an NBA bust, but he ended up finding his niche, man. So there is something to be said about finding your niche, man. I'm realizing that that's very important, especially in the league. So JJ is, I think he goes down as one of the best shooters of all time. Definitely a specialist, if you will. So with JJ retiring, man, it got us thinking about the best shooters of all time, but no, not like the best shooters of all time, but just like the best specialists, So like that means like don't tell me about Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, guys like that. I'm talking about like real shooter specialists, like
Crawford.
Like who?
Like Crawford.
Crawford.
Yeah.
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
Okay, it's acceptable. It's not who I would name, but. I mean, we talking about shooters all the time, man. Got throw JJ Reddick out there. I think another person that should be talked about. We talking about shooters. Dang, I can't really think of nobody right now. Bryce, who you got?
There's a couple I got on my list, man.
JJ.
First one that comes to mind is Peja Stojakovic. Peja was probably, in my opinion, the best shooter that was not a superstar that I think I've ever seen.
Peja was low-key a superstar, though.
No, he wasn't. He was not.
In my opinion, he was. He was all-star.
He was never a superstar.
He was an all-star, though.
He may have had an all-star appearance. I don't know how. Maybe one. I'll have to Google that. But Peja was never a superstar. But he was definitely a specialist. He didn't do much else but shoot the tray ball, and he did that at a very, very high level. I used to love Peja's game, man. I used to love his game. I mean, he was a baller on the Kings, bro. Oh my gosh, he used to go crazy on the Kings. Him, Chris Webber, Doug Christie was a nice little squad right there. To me, he's one of the best specialist shooters of all time. Another one that I say is up there as a specialist shooter. I'm starting to think of players in the league right now, but that are not in the league right now. At least one that comes to mind is Rashad Lewis. Formerly at Orlando Magic. Man, Rashad Lewis doesn't get a lot of love now.
He's an all-star,
had an all-star appearance or two. Didn't do much else, but he could stroke it. He could stroke it from deep. And he had the quick release, bro. Shot it over top of his head. It was a high release, man. Really was no blocking. I believe he was a lefty as well. But Rashad Lewis was a knockdown shooter, man. That's another one of those specialist shooters that I think was one of the better ones that might get lost in history. I mean, you got guys like Steve Kerr, of course. I mean, Steve Kerr hit some clutch shots for those Chicago Bulls. Now, of course, the coach of the Golden State Warriors. And then one that's a little under the radar, but who's a pretty good specialist doing it right now. I got to shout out to my whiz, man. Davis Bertans. You know, you don't hear this guy's name going around a lot, but this guy is definitely one of the best shooters in the league. He didn't really have his stroke together last season, but year before that, he was unbelievably lights out from three. When this guy gets hot, he's unconscious. So he's one of the best shooters right now in the league. But specialist shooters of all time, I would definitely go with Peter Stojakovic as mine.
I'm trying to think. Anybody with the last name Akovic is a special shooter, as Shaq would say. Anybody with the last name Akovic is a special shooter, as Shaq would say. Shit, who else? Damn.
Oh man, another one
I throw a name out there.
Robert
Kyle
Ory
Korver.
getting shot foul, man.
Kyle Korver. There's a strong one.
Facts.
I should have thought of Korver sooner.
I think Kyle Korver is a
Sixer,
better
by the
shooter than
way.
JJ Reddick all time. In my opinion.
Ah, man, that's
I
tough.
think Kyle Korver got an all-star under his belt too.
He does with one. I think the
How
great
about
shooters
Marcus Smart?
just get one. What?
Marcus
Get the
Smart?
heck out of
I wouldn't
here.
give it to Marcus Smart.
What?
He's too
What?
streaky.
Marcus
He
Smart?
was a legit 3-point shooter this last year.
Yeah, he's a little too streaky.
Bro, we put
But
Marcus
Duncan
Smart.
Robinson
You
from the Heat
gonna
is
put Corey Brewer up here too? Anybody else you gonna put up here? Who else you got? Anybody else?
Duncan Robinson from the Heat definitely is one of the best specialists doing it right now. That boy can.
Duncan Robinson's a beast.
Yes,
He's
that
a
boy
beast.
could shoot. He's
Mhm.
legit a shooter.
Yo, the thing is, yo,
This is a tough question.
You can really make a
'Cause-
nice career for yourself. You can just get a three ball. You don't got to be that athletic. You don't got to be jumping out the gym. If you can shoot the three consistently, I mean, there's a place for you on the NBA team, especially in today's game.
Man.
Interesting conversation, though, man.
Definitely,
this-
definitely.
See, we got some comments coming in. ISO Joe, that's a good one. I don't know. ISO Joe might be a little bit too elite of a player to be considered a specialist. I think he is. I mean, he has some years where he was one of the best shooters.
Bryce,
That's what I was-
you named Rashad Lewis, and I think Rashad Lewis.
That's what I was about to get at.
really
I'm
good.
like, so some of the hard part about this question is like some of the great specialists are all-star caliber players. Like some of the players you named, Bryce, I'm like, damn, I left them off my list because I consider them so great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, Rashad Lewis to Joe Johnson, that's not really not a comparison at all.
I don't know. I beg to differ.
Are you crazy? Joe Johnson's one of the best players. He was literally one of the best two guards his whole career, bro.
Okay, and Rashard Lewis is one of the best stretch fours. You know what I'm saying? In his position too.
Best specialist of the time. Yes.
He wasn't a specialist, bro. He
Joe
was
Johnson
he was
a
nasty
seven-time
and
He
hell of
was
shit.
nice, bro.
Like,
Bro,
He was
Rashard
nice.
Lewis was good at mad things, bro. He wasn't a specialist. You're trying to
what
reduce
was
him
he good
like
at? Remind me.
What?
I must have forgot.
he cooked. He wasn't just a shooter. He cooked. He was nice. He had post moves. He was aight.
yeah, he had a little post moves.
He was nice. He had a fadeaway, bro. He wasn't just a spot up shooter. He was nice.
He had a fadeaway. I don't know.
He might want to. He's not that much worse than Dirk.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm saying. He's nice.
What are
Dirk's
you talking about?
Dirk's
Bro,
definitely better.
Rashard Lewis, multiple time
Lewis
All
is nowhere
Star.
near Joe Johnson. I'm not gonna get away. I'm not gonna let this happen. I'm not gonna let this happen, bro. I don't know what Scrub is talking about, but I'm not gonna let this happen. Joe Johnson is on another.
No, you
level.
got this. I'm not gonna get into the Joe Johnson versus Rashard Lewis with you.
Okay.
You got that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying Rashard Lewis is nice.
Don't do Dirk either, bro.
Bro, Rashard Lewis is nice.
Dirk,
Bro, Rashard Lewis is nice. Rashard Lewis might. Yo, who had a better career, Rashard Lewis or Lamar Odom?
I mean, I would say Lamar Odom. He was a better
I'd say
player,
Rashard
in my
Lewis.
opinion. I say Lamar.
Lamar
Odom was a
Odom.
much better player in my opinion.
I'd say Rashard Lewis was much better.
Lamar Odom had a championship ring.
Yeah, like
See? Oh, okay. So now that theory works for y'all. Okay, got it.
I forgot. Yeah, that's you
I
said
love
some
you for
shit.
that theory.
Yeah, that's see, automatically. Well, yeah, I see.
I think Rashad Lewis played a really big role on that Orlando Magic team.
Of course he did, bro. They wouldn't.
Outside of that run that they had was about a 3-year span when the Orlando Magic were nice.
Yeah, we can say the same thing about Dwight Howard, and he's a Hall of Famer.
No, but Dwight Howard's an 8-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Rashad Lewis made the All-Star game twice.
Okay, two
I mean,
more
it's not
times.
like-
It's two more
It's not
times
like
than
Dwight Howard, bro. Stop
two more times than a lot of people.
Stop it, bro. Rashad Lewis is a solid NBA player for sure. I don't want to start shitting on Rashad Lewis. I mean, he was nice, but
it's two more times than Davis Bertans. That's all I know. Who's a real shooter specialist.
That's true. He's definitely better than Davis Bertans.
You know, 2 more times than Ryan Broekhoff.
Bertans for Ben Simmons, man. Get it done, Maury.
For Ben Simmons.
Straight up. The salaries match. Look at strong match as hell. That might be what y'all really get, though. Y'all might really get a specialist for Ben Simmons. How about that?
Shit.
Hey, as long as he specializes in not being a hoe.
This is why he left Philly. This is why the man was done with Philly, bro. This is Exhibit A. Why Ben Simmons wants no more Philly, bro. He called a hoe.
Yeah, we don't like him anyway. It's all good.
You know? Hey, come on to Washington, man. We ain't gonna call you a hoe.
Yo, we definitely gotta make a clip about Nick defending Ben Simmons and Embiid.
And then ended with that. Like,
Yes.
Tell me you're a Philly fan without being a Philly fan. Damn.
Yeah, tell me how you're a Philly fan without telling me you're a Philly fan. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Whatever. I'm a realist.
You can't make this shit
All
up.
of a sudden.
So y'all fans just like to fake it? You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. y'all won't live in y'all little oblivion. I'll let y'all live, man. You know, nobody bursting y'all bubble. You know, I don't live in that world, man. I'm very real about mine.
Well,
you know what? You're right, Nick. You're right, because these guys gassed up Dwayne Haskins to the max.
Right. And then just forgot about him. And then
you're riding that wave.
That was your guy, right? That was your guy. That was your guy. Oh yeah, we believe in Dwayne. We believe in Dwayne. Yeah, he's a team captain. Team captain. Y'all moved on from him so quick, and then y'all had this practice squad guy, and then y'all had him starting in the playoff game for y'all, and then he was y'all savior, and then y'all brought in a career backup, then he was y'all savior, and then he got hurt, and then never even heard his name for 2 weeks.
You talk about bursting bubbles and living in a fantasy world with your players. We were able to move on from Dwayne Haskins much faster than Philly was able to move on from Ben Simmons, bro. Like, there's plenty of footage of you.
There's a difference between how you moved on.
Together.
Yeah, you moved
Ben's
on
working on his shot, and now he's a hoe.
Bro.
Now he went from working on the shot to just a straight up hoe.
The difference is we're gonna get something. Y'all couldn't get nothing back. Y'all waived him. He got cut, terminated, contract.
But you never heard us call Dwayne Haskins a hoe.
Yeah. Best of luck to Dwayne Haskins.
Never that low. We never went Philly fan on you.
Best of luck, man. Best wishes on your future endeavors.
And make sure you get a mouthpiece, my boy, because the girl punching you, my boy. Make sure you keep your teeth nice and shiny, my boy.
That's right. Sound like some whole shit to me.
Oh, man. Take the ball up the court specialist.
Facts. That's what they reduced him to, man.
Take the ball up the court.
That's what happens when you turn. That's what happens when you turn 6'10" transition players into point guards.
You loved him at point guard, though. You used to love it.
I was just buying in. You just buying in.
You just buying in.
What happened to the trust the process?
You had enough for buying into Dwayne Haskins, but you were just buying in.
Hey, well, you try to crucify me because I see the faults in our ways, man. Just because you can't see just because you don't move on from shit until it's already moved on from. I can see the writing on the wall here, bro.
Nah, bro, I just don't call my players hoes. That's just what I do.
Whatever, man. Maybe you should.
Yeah, and then I'll be in the same situation you are, not being able to trade them. Can't get his pennies on the dollar.
I'm looking forward to Hard Knocks. Carson Wentz is gonna be publicly broken on the national stage, so it's gonna be great.
Yeah, really, man, y'all hard on y'all guys, man. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
Hey man, fellas, life's hard.
Life is hard, man. But hey, not if you're a gas panelist, not if you're a gasaholic. Shout out to all the gasaholics, man. Shout out to all the new the new viewers this week. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you don't got you that gas gear, you know, we got the gas hats and non-distress, and this Rome's rocking the distress version. You can also, limited time only,
get
you
distressed.
a pair. If you go to gas.com right now, you can get you a pair of Geraldo's inflatable biceps. Limited time only, all right? You will not be forever. $9.99. Buy one, get one free. Don't just get one bicep. Make sure you get them both. Hey, good episode tonight, fellas. Good Ass Sports. Y'all know how to find us at Good Ass Sports on all platforms. Make sure you download the Gas Sports Network app. It's simple to find. You search Gas Sports Network in your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store. Make sure you download it. Give it the 5 stars, man. We do this for the culture. We do this for y'all. Rome, is there anything I forgot?
Hey, man, hit that follow button if you're watching on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the fantasy league. Bryce got me in one fantasy league last week. I'm getting them in this one this week, man. The payback is on. I'm going to be on here next week talking about how I'm vindicated. But yeah, man, other than that, man, thanks for tuning in as always. And shout out to the new followers once again. Fellas, let's end it how we always end it. Sports for the culture.
Deporte para la cultura.
Hey, bro, I need you to finesse me a fake trade. Let me get right.